As Molten Core is just about to come out in Season of Discovery, with the new heat levels, heat level 2 and 3, there's quite a lot of things you can do right now to stay prepared to be able to clear those higher heat levels, especially because Blizzard has really aggressively hinted at you will very much need fire resistance gear, as well as hinted at things being a little bit harder. Now, I'd pushed off making this video because I thought Blizzard was going to release a blue post letting us know what those heat levels would really entail, but just kind of go in assuming that you will get more gear from the higher heat levels, as well as some pretty cool stuff like this new cosmetic. You can see the Molten Perdition's Blade. All of the loot in the game, or all of the weapons, have this Molten kind of affix, I guess would be the word for it, but it comes with this amazing glow on it. Just a purely aesthetic, purely cosmetic thing, which is probably something you're going to get from like heat level 3 specifically, as well as they did mention early on that you're going to get more loot every time you kill a boss on a higher heat level, meaning if you get more loot, it's easier to gear your raid, and so on and so forth. Also, nice accolades. So here's everything you really need to do. The first one, of course, is going to be to make sure that you're attuned to Molten Core, and that is a very, very easy thing to do. I literally don't have it on this character, but any character above level 55, you can just go in front of MC, in front of the entrance, and you can pick up the quest from the Night Elf right there, and all you need to do is a lava run in the actual BRD instance. Just go towards the end and you click a rock and you go and turn that in, and you're attuned. It's the fastest attunement there is. The second one, obviously on Nixia attunement, a lot harder to do and takes a lot longer, but there is a new bind on account attunement for this, because you just need to have this necklace in your inventory, and you can see I have it on my main, so you just need to have it in your inventory. I'm just currently on my 4th level 60, so it just doesn't have anything, but I am using this to farm fire resistance, because fire resistance will be so important. And I don't want to say this is speculation anymore. It's basically confirmed that fire resistance is going to be incredibly important and incredibly crucial for you to clear the higher heat levels. Now, I do want to stress, if you're just going in with your raid and doing heat level 1, like normal Molten Core, then you don't need fire resistance. You don't need fire resistance. Maybe your tank might, but not really. We're super overtuned with how geared we are, but they are scaling the higher heat levels to how geared we are. They gave us 2 weeks to gear, just so that the race to world first, which if you want to see the world first race, of course, make sure to watch the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Sarthe, shameless plug, on Thursday. But either way, they gave us all of this time farming our full tier 0.5, which is buffed up, by the way, and allowing us to farm a lot of new things for fire resistance. So first of all, we're just going to go over some of the most important things you can do to get your fire res up, because the golden number you're probably aiming for is to have 2 separate sets. There's one number that will make sure that you resist at least a little bit of every attack that hits you, and that number is 210 fire resistance. That is going to be making sure that you have that while buffed. So get your number up to 210 fire resistance. And then the giga number is a 310 set, or sorry, 315. That is basically max fire resistance that you need to go for, is the 315 set. But the easiest things to do is 40 fire resistance just from your enchants on your helm and your leggings, because you probably don't have enchants on your helm and leggings, and that is the Arcanum of Resilience from the Librum of Resilience, which you can buy off the auction house. This has shot up in price from 10 gold yesterday to like 200 gold today. It's going to be a little bit expensive, but you can actually just buy the literal enchant, because getting the Librum itself can be a little bit annoying. You have to get a black diamond, super easy to do. Crystal Spire is from getting the blue crystals and the yellow crystals down in Ungoro and turning those in. And then the Burning Essence itself, this is from doing coffer runs in BRD. It's soloable as a rogue, but if you do it as a 2-man stealth run, it's something you can do easily that way. But you have to get this done to get 1 enchant. So you need 2 of all of these things for your 2 enchants on your helm and your legs. That will give you 40 fire resistance. Then from there, we can go in, and the next really easy thing to do is going to be to go in and do your factions. Now, the big one would be, or the easiest one is going to be Hydraxian Waterlords. All you need to do is be, I believe it's revered. I don't think it's exalted. I can check on this again, but you just need to get your cloak, which is 20 fire res to your cloak, because your other cloak enchants are awful in the game. There's nothing really that good. You get like 3 agility or some spirit or something. So instead of that, 20 fire res. This is a huge slot for this. Then there is another enchant. If you have Argent Dawn on your shoulders, you can get 15 more. But if you're not even exalted, because that takes forever, and if you didn't prep it already, there's no way you're exalted. Then if you're revered, which is pretty easy to get, then you can get 5 fire res on your shoulder. Another very solid trade-off. Now there's some items that are really good, but I did want to show you guys really fast just like how obvious it is that we need fire res. If you also look at any of the gear in Molten Core or any of the gear from the new Thorium Brotherhood buffed gear, you'll notice that it is all fire resistance gear. It's literally all stacked up super high with fire res. Be ready for it to be kind of crazy. If you go into BRD and you kill Lord Incendius, then he will always drop a randomly enchanted fire resistance bracer, which is one of the best slots. If you're something like a hunter, you want of agility mail slots or leather, doesn't really matter, but these will give you another 10 fire res, and you can't even get it of resistance, I believe. So you can try to get that, but just be ready to get the bracer slot. There are some very easy necklaces. The necklace just from being attuned for Onyxia gives you 15 other fire res, and rings are an amazing slot. So any sort of your jewelry is usually the best slot, but outside of that, you can kind of just look at things for yourself. Any of the crafted gear, something like the Devil Corset, which is out right now, that will give you another 35 fire res while having absolutely amazing gear on it. But on top of that, there's just always going to be a lot of other pieces like the Black Dragon skill sets, whatever it is for your class or whatever your like cloth, mail, leather, any of those. On top of that, greater fire protection potions. Stack up on these. Stack up on these as much as you can. They are going to be kind of annoying to craft right now. Elemental Fire and Dreamfoil should be shooting up right now, but these are going to be probably your most important consumable outside of your normal consumables, which this list I got actually from Jerome from Taladrill is just going to be like what you want to get. Obviously your world buffs, your consumables, your flasks, very important to have your flasks, and they're very cheap to get right now. Make sure you have booned all of your world buffs, and then just make sure you have your normal damage dealing consumables, things like Mongoose or Arcane Elixirs, whatever that is, because the raid will be hard. It will absolutely be hard. Make sure you stack up on all of those, as well as the greater fire protection potion. Now, past that, make sure you know the mechanics of most of the bosses, or all of the bosses in Molten Core, at least at their base level. Now, I would anticipate we're gonna see things like the season of mastery changes, at least for some of the things in here. And for that, you can check out Fart's guide, which is always amazing. It's very quick, 30-second guides, as well as I will kind of have a video tomorrow talking about what I expect to see from all of the bosses, but so you can just kind of be prepared, but just know exactly what you should be seeing from the bosses and how to deal with them. It'll make things a lot easier. Do not unboon until you have actually gotten the hang of all of the fights in here. You do not want to lose your world buffs and have to go out and get them again early. At least you have the warrior buff right now. Oh, and one other item you really should be going for is just going to the new dungeon, Demonfall Canyon, and running the first 3 bosses. This is technically the actual 3rd boss, and he drops a trinket called Miniaturized Fire Extinguisher, an extra 20 fire res. Super easy to grab, and if we're on the instance of like things that are really easy to grab, if you go into Upward Blackrock Spire, the first boss also drops a 20 fire res cloak. And if you do all of these things, as well as already have farmed some of your gear, you absolutely should be ready to enter into Molten Core, and your guild should be able to push the highest heat levels they possibly can. Now, I expect heat level 3 to be legitimately hard, but it might be a pushover. We don't really know, and I will keep you guys all updated, and you will also see a Molten Core like early guide before we do the raid, as well as a real guide after the world first, which again, you can just watch over on my Twitch channel as it launches on Thursday. So I'll see you guys all on the next one.